This practice is about allowing. Allow the flow of energy, allow nature, create space in the body, create space in the mind, intercellular space. You can change your body, your spirit, and your mind. You can lengthen your telomeres in this practice. Make room for prana, the flow of energy. And there's a way to encapsulate this feeling from this practice. So stay tuned, and at the end of the practice, I'll share a tip with you that you can use throughout your day, even when you're not on the mat. Hey Illuminators, I'm Rebekah, and this is Body Illumination. Today we are doing a yin and restorative practice. So get ready to just chill and feel really restored at the end of this. Grab your mat, maybe a blanket if you have a blanket, and some yoga blocks. If you have anything like this little arch laying around the house, then grab this. If you're interested in something like this is fabulous for the spine. You can do all kinds of wonderful things with it. I'll show a link below. And also maybe a little Pilates ball that I might be using. I'll show a link below with that too. Just optional props that you can use. You can obviously use any household items that you have. And grab a big cozy sweatshirt too, so you can get comfy. So get ready to have fun and relax. If you haven't subscribed, please press that subscribe button and the little bell too, so that you'll be notified of our next upcoming video. Breathe. Let's start in butterfly pose. So we're seated. We are going to bring the soles of our feet together, splay the knees open, and fold forward. When you hear those chimes, that's when I will start timing the length of the posture. So try to get into some part of the pose when you hear the chimes. At the end, anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes for each posture, you'll hear a bell, and I will also audibly tell you that we are moving and transitioning. Also, visually, you will notice on the screen that there's a blue haze over the screen during the posture. And during the transitions, that haze is removed. So you are welcome to use props during this practice. In this posture specifically, you can use props under your legs, right underneath your knees. You can use them underneath your hips or underneath your head, as I demonstrated. As you go deeper into the posture, you can move those props away. So if you are using blankets underneath your hips and you feel that you don't need the blankets, then you can move them away. The same thing with the blocks. As you start to open deeper, then you can remove those props. And that's one reason why I like to use the yin and restorative concepts together. Because if we open ourselves in a restorative fashion where we feel safe and supported, then we can start to challenge ourselves and go deeper. And the connective tissue and those energy lines start to open up. And then we can look for that delicious edge in our yin practice. In this posture specifically, we are opening up the urinary bladder and the liver meridians or channels. For every practice, I encourage my students and myself to set an intention. So think about what it is you want to cultivate in your life today with this practice. Just one thing, and you might have a laundry list of things, but see if you can just pick one. Maybe it's balance, maybe it's ease, serenity, vibrance. Whatever that one thing is, maybe you want to feel illumination throughout your body and your spirit and your mind. What does that feel like to you? And then I want you to close your eyes and just take a moment and feel it start to move through your body. Whatever that one thing is that you'd like to manifest in your practice today. Tune into your breath and simply allow. Allow yourself to let go. Okay, that is our cue that we are transitioning to the next posture. So we're going to come up to a seated position and extend your left leg out and draw the right leg in. Lengthen through the spine, take a nice gentle breath, and as you exhale, gently drape yourself over that extended leg. So the variation that I'm showing with the block and the blanket on my leg, again, is more restorative in nature. So if you want to make this more yin, then you'd prop up your pelvis to lengthen and get more of an anterior tilt in the pelvis. But I usually start this way with a restorative variation and then quickly transition and move those blankets and blocks away. If you have excessively rounded shoulders or some type of kyphosis, if you hollow through your chest area, then this probably would not be appropriate for you. And you could put a block underneath your head and lift your hips up for support. You could also take the blanket closer to your head if it reaches that far down. If you've noticed a little cat running around us while we do our practice, that is Bachi. She's my cat, and she's been in a number of yoga and Pilates and workout videos. I will put some links up in the corner so you can see her strut her stuff. So let's just try to find stillness and let your body and your spirit reveal themselves to you as you peel off those layers like an onion. Often when we define ourselves through our thoughts, we forget the truth that we are vast and limitless. We cannot simply rely on our mind to tell us the way things are, because the mind is habitually judging and evaluating. That's its job. So allow yourself in this practice to simply become unglued. Let go of the thoughts, let go of your mind, let go of the judgment and the comparisons. Stop evaluating and just explore. Explore this practice as a journey, just to let go. So if you come up against an edge in your practice and you aren't sure what to do, depending upon how much of an edge it is, you can either use your breath and see if you can explore that edge a little deeper, or you can modify and bend your knee, prop yourself up, come on out for a moment, and then see if you can revisit the posture again. Now we are coming up and we are going to switch sides. This side may be entirely different from the other side. There's a good likelihood of that. So as you approach it as a new posture altogether and see how your body responds. So you may have noticed that Bachi has encountered a squirrel outside. And it's interesting when you watch animals and children and how they present themselves and how they create this life for them. I love to watch that with my kids, with Bachi, with friends and family. It's interesting to see how people transform their lives. But it's really important to do the same thing with yourself. And this yin practice is, to me, very much about that. It's about going inside and letting your body guide you, because your body has this knowing of what you need and what you want. And this practice really allows your body to have that space and time to create that path for you, that pathway. Let's transition into full caterpillar now. So you're going to come back up to a seated position, bending both legs in. And if you need to, feel free to windshield wipe your legs from side to side. And then when you're ready, extend both legs out in front of you and fold forward over both legs. We're going to start to get into that thoracolumbar fascia. And we're working into the urinary bladder, calming the mind. And it's not so important to flex your feet and straighten your legs. You just want to soften and remind yourself to surrender. If you want to, you can support your knees, prop something up underneath your legs so you keep that length in your lower back as you extend forward over your legs. This will help you if your hamstrings or your lower back is tight. Again, you can prop up your hips. You can make it a little bit more restorative in nature and prop up something under your chest, or again, more yin, and prop up something underneath your forehead. Let the breath help to open up any of the knots in your body. Let the breath open up the knots in your mind. And just take your time when you feel that urge to come out of the posture. That's often said that that's where the posture begins. So see if you can just shift your edge a little bit further and use that internal knowing if that's appropriate for you. Just play with that. You might surprise yourself. Okay, so let's transition. We are going to come on up, crisscross your legs underneath you, come onto your hands and knees, and then gently press back into downward facing dog. Now, if you'd like to, you can join me and go through a vinyasa, or you can just stay in downward dog. We're going to come into a high plank, lower down low plank, upward facing, and then back into downward facing. And then come back forward into your high plank and lower yourself all the way down into the earth. Let's prop ourselves up into Sphinx pose. When I first come into this posture, I like to gently move my head from side to side, opening up the back of my neck. So you can look over to one side and then over to the other side, and then gently drape your head forward and stretch it all the way over to your left and all the way over to your right. Be mindful of your lower back if there is any injury or if you feel some pain. There is some slight compression in this posture in the lower back, and we're opening through the chest region, and you can feel that delicious energetic feeling from your heart center. It's very energizing and restorative at the same time. If you want to take this posture deeper, you can extend both arms and move into seal. So if that feels like the path that you want today, then go ahead and try that. And remember, you can always revisit Sphinx and bend the elbows, come back down onto your forearms. Again, allowing the front side of the body to open and the heart center to really blossom. That real transformation happens when we let go, when we allow ourselves to explore something different in ourselves, and we can play with the yin and the yang, the pushing and the letting go. And that's when we really start to evolve in our practice and in our lives. This practice was designed to be simple. Originally, I had planned to do more postures, but I decided that I'd like to do a smaller amount of postures. We were just doing a 25-minute practice today, and I'd like to hold a smaller amount of postures for a longer amount of time. And in doing so, it's actually more challenging in some ways. Let's come on up slowly onto our hands and knees, and we're going to keep those shoulders stacked over our wrists and do some cat and cow. So rounding through the spine, tucking your chin towards your chest, and then extending, looking up into the sky. Again, rounding and extending. And then we're going to transition, crisscross your legs underneath you and come into a seated posture. And let's get your props. So we're going to come into a nice heart opener. And you can use your blocks place them between your shoulder blades. You can use either if you have that little arch, the foam arch, you can prop that under your head, or you can put some blankets. And then we're going to splay our legs open, bringing the soles of the feet together. And you can prop up some blocks underneath your knees, or you can use some blankets underneath your knees if you'd like to. Again, playing with that restorative edge or the yin edge, whatever one you're looking for. Now, if you want more of an edge, take that block up on its side, and you'll get a deeper back bend. And you can even move the block that is supporting your head away, and you'll open up through the throat. Now we have come full circle, and we're lying back in butterfly. So prana is known as that life force, that energy that is everywhere, that surrounds us and that is within us. It's also known as the beating heart, or the spirit of life, chi. It has many names, but it's that essence of energy and life. And throughout the body, there are many channels, also known as nadis, very similar to the meridians. The meridians also go into the limbs. And this prana moves through the body, and it comes into the body from the food we eat, from the air we breathe. It is absorbed from the earth and from the heavens around us. And it travels through all these little channels in our body into the cells. And what I'd like to do now, as we start to approach the final postures in our practice today, I want you to just visualize that energy like the molten lava within the middle layer of the earth. As we begin to approach the end of our practice, I'd like to share a technique or a tip with you that you can use as we close our practice, but you can also use off of the mat. So what I'd like you to do is tune into a feeling. And usually it's generated in the heart region, and a feeling that you can think about and regenerate. So maybe it's something that you felt today on the mat, a feeling of amazement, that you were totally blown away by how you felt, electrifying, and just love and bewilder, something that you really can't describe with words. Sometimes it's just holding someone in your arms. Sometimes it's seeing a sunrise or a sunset. So think about what that might be for you. It might be the ocean waves. I want you to tune into that feeling and create it right now inside your heart. Maybe feel a little wiggle in your body when you feel that. Just that you're completely stupefied by the power of nature all around you, by this beautiful universe. And I want you to try to feel this during your day. I want you to feel it before and after each meal, and create it in your mind, because one of the most powerful tools we have is our creativity. So we are going to transition right into final relaxation from this posture. So I'd like you to choose a variation of this posture. Either make the back bend a little more gentle. I'm going to show a variation of that. I'm using the ball, which makes this a very, very subtle chest opener. Or you can lie flat on your back. Or you can prop up a blanket underneath your upper back if that feels appropriate. as much time as you need to, but we are going to transition onto our right side. If you are pregnant, then you'd roll over to your left side. We're going to push up to a seated posture and close our practice. Okay, if you want to, join me with the sound of Om. Om Shanti 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 Namaste. I hope you liked our yin practice today. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe, please subscribe and check out our website, bodyillumination.com. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.